What's up, fight fans? And we're back at it with another one here at Round One Sports Talk. I want to talk about and go over some of the most interesting fights that have already occurred and how the sport of boxing is evolving and changing. You're not going to want to miss this video, so please like, subscribe, and let's see if we get over 100 likes within the first 5 hours on this video right here. That's my goal. So, Frank Martin just fought, and Frank Martin looked good, okay, but like we always discuss, as you can see, it was the style of opponent in front of him. This guy that they picked out for him to fight wasn't an easy walk in the park. This guy came to fight. The way he dominated over Michelle Rivera on his last performance, Frank Martin, a lot of people thought that they were going to see a more dominant performance of Frank Martin, but they failed to take into account to this guy, his opponent. And it just goes to show you that the sport of boxing is growing. And a lot of guys from a lot of different parts of the world are getting world-class training. And boxing is really starting to evolve. There were a lot of good fights on that card. You know what I'm saying? As far as young talent coming up, Jaron Boots Ennis just fought, and Jaron Boots Ennis looked very impressive in his outing, but the quality of his opponent made him look, for me anyway, just that more impressive. Is where that he had to toy around with the guy to make the fight a little interesting. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he gave him a lot of opportunities, okay? But Jaron Boots Ennis took care of business. And as soon as Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. handle their business, we're going to see where Jaron Boots Ennis, I believe he's going to have one more fight in between. Because let's keep in mind, they could be a rematch to the biggest fight in our generation right now. Of our time right now. Not in our generation, in our time, in this moment as active fighters. This is the biggest fight. Okay, so, the way that boxing has evolved right now, and am I the only one that is starting to notice that, a lot of boxers in a lot of countries are coming to America and getting American training. They're also adapting some of our coaches and our styles, and thank you for doing so, because we need the level of competition to come up just that much more. Okay, because what good is it if you're so dominant in the sport that it's just like, what are you, afraid of competition? What are you afraid of these guys getting better? Let me tell you something. Let's visualize this in our head. Team USA is a strong team. And if we were to have to put all our American fighters on the front line, we have a hell of a team. Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, Keyshawn Davis, as for young talent, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, Jesus, the list goes on. There are so many young talent American fighters, right? So let's put them all in a room, right? You got the American team. Who's gonna challenge the American team? I'll tell you who. All the Mexicans come inside of that room. Boom. All the great Mexican champions right now. Just you think of all the great Mexican champions and all the Mexican champions that have belts and that are prospects and up and coming. Put them in that room too. And then you got the Ukrainians coming into the room. You got Vasil High-Tech, Lomachenko, Usyk, and all his guys coming in. You got Naoya Inoue and Junto Nakatoni from the Japanese scenes. And there's a lot of Japanese fighters that are underneath them that are coming, that are very strong, and they're hungry. The room is starting to get a little packed, ain't it? And I love it. I love the competition and the rivalry. And all of a sudden, look who else shows up, kicking in the front door. Who the hell is that? Dominican fighters. What? American fighters are looking like at the PR. Hey, yo, Puerto Rico, handle that, bro. Your cousin's at the door, right? Yo, these Dominican fighters, right now, they are really putting together a group of Dominican fighters that are really, really, really starting to make a move and a threat in divisions. We got fighters such as Carlos Adams, 160 pounds. We got Edwin De Los Santos, 135 pounds. We got Fortuna, he fights at 126 pounds. We got Hector Luis Garcia, he fights at 130 pounds. We got Luis Neves, he fights at 126 pounds. Alberto, he fights at 140. Michelle Rivera fights at 135. And Elvis Rodriguez fights at 140. All Dominican top prospect talents. And Hector Luis Garcia is a real champion at 130 pounds right now. So to Santo Domingo, you guys are doing your thing right now. And it's true. A lot of those Dominican fighters have Puerto Rican coaches. And they're traveling over to Puerto Rico. Good. About time. Help those dudes get better. Make those guys a better fighter. What are you, scared of a rivalry? Puerto Rico and Santo Domingo have been going at it with each other for years. I'm a Mexican and Puerto Rican fighters. Bro, that has been a rivalry. Oh, man, have there been some great fights between those two. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. And I love it. And I love the fact that, look, Japan is coming. Santo Domingo is coming. Ukraine is coming. Mexico, they have always been there, but they've always coming. You got, and American fighters right now, our American team, to all the upcoming countries that are coming into boxing and that are prospering, you will soon find out what it's like to be notarized and famous in your country and loved, right? And then at one point in time, you will have to fight your own countrymen. For example, the Santo Domingo team, right? I put them as a team, as a category, but they have currently 2 fighters at 140. They got 2 fighters at 135, and they got 2 fighters at 126. There's a possibility at one point they're going to meet each other to see who's the best Dominican fighter. Yes, that could happen. You know what I'm saying? And let's find out who it is. And that's what we love about boxing. This is a global sport. And now the competition is even getting better and more fierce, as we saw against Frank Martin, a rarely unknown man. He was ranked number 8. I know nothing about him. Did any of you guys know about him? Leave your comment. You know what I'm saying? If he's from your part of the country, you may know about him. I really didn't know nothing about him, but I can tell you this much. He looked pretty good. He has some things that he needs to work on. You know what I'm saying? But he looks like a kid that knows how to box. You know what I'm saying? And like every young boxer, he took his first professional loss. I hope he bounces back from this and comes back even stronger. As far as Frank the Ghost Martin, our American fighter, congratulations on the win. Hey, it was a tough night at the office, but when he wanted to turn on the fire, did you see how dominant he was? You can't just go in there gun blazing all the time and take an opportunity to get knocked out. Apparently, this guy was hitting hard enough to make Frank Martin respect him. And that's what was going on in that ring. Frank Martin just didn't turn it on and leave himself vulnerable to the fact that, okay, let me just shoot every round like this and then gas out in the later rounds. No, Frank Martin dragged him out into the later rounds and then he turned on the heat. You know what I'm saying? And as you could hear, his coach in the corner, Derek James, was like, yo, I need you to step it up right now. And he went out there and did so. Took care of business. Now, the highly anticipated matchup with Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Now, it is a big fight in so many ways. We all know this. And I said on one of my previous videos that history could be made. And the reason why I say history could be made is because my mind, I think of all possibilities. On either end, we're going to get history. Okay, so if Terrence Crawford was to win, he will be the first fighter in the 4-belt era to capture all 4 belts in 2 separate weight classes. Yes, that'll be a historical moment for boxing. Yes, it will be. Now, if Errol Spence Jr. wins, he will become the first 147-pound champion of the world in the 4-belt era, right? Okay, but he didn't get it in 2 divisions. He'll just be the one. But history will also be made because he'll also be the first person to get all 4 belts at 147. Okay? All right. But there is a way that history can't be made. Okay? What if it's a draw? What if the fight is a draw? No one wins. There's no history on that night. You get it? You see? So that's a possibility. You can't rule that out. Okay? So that's why I said history could be made that night. It could be made on either way. Okay? But there's also a chance that we can get a draw. You know, we've seen that with the Charlo twins. You know, when he got a draw. You know what I'm saying? And no one took the belts. They walked away and they had to come back and do it again. You know what I'm saying? So that's why there's, you know, a lot going on in that fight because it's also holding up the division. Jerron Bruce Ennis needs a shot. Other people need shots. You see what I'm saying? So it's a really big fight, okay? And we've always spoke about the Naoya Inoue and Stephen Kubo Fulton fight. That is around the corner. Stephen Kubo Fulton, you know, he looks like he's really, you know, acclimating to Japan right now. He still hasn't got a haircut. I think he's going into the fight like that, straight gladiator mode. You know what I'm saying? All business. You know what I'm saying? And that fight stands to be a great fight as well. And I would like everyone to tune in. So please, I'm trying to get this video up to 100 likes. Please like, subscribe, click the bell icon, and I'm trying to get this mic, man. You know what I'm saying? This mailman seems not to know where my house is. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to hunt this dude down myself. No, but I got some more equipment coming in, and I want to drop more content more frequently. But I apologize for not doing it earlier because I was waiting on other things. But, you know, thank you for supporting the channel. And let me know what you think of the video. Like always, I'm on to the next one on the next video. Peace.